Hello, good morning to everyone. Now, in this second video, I'm going to explain what is MERN Stack and why we use the MERN Stack. So, MERN, it is a JavaScript-based full-stack framework used to build a dynamic web applications. So, MERN, it is totally based on this JavaScript-based full-stack framework, which is used to build a dynamic web applications. What is the meaning of dynamic web applications? Dynamic web application means suppose if we are creating any web applications, then we can edit the web applications. And suppose if we are working on some web application, then it dynamically load the components. So that is called as dynamic web applications. So what is the meaning of this MERN stand for? So MERN, actually this is the combination of four terms at here. So first it comes as the M. So M stand for the MongoDB, that is called as NoSQL database. So suppose if we are creating the project using this MERN stack, then if we want to save the data, then we use this MongoDB. So MongoDB, this is the NoSQL database. NoSQL database means it is the NoSQL structure query language, which is used to save the data into the database. Second term that comes, it is called as E. E means that is called as Express. So what is the meaning of this Express? Express, actually this is the web application framework for the Node.js. Express, it acts as the interface between the Node.js and the MongoDB. And because of using this Express.js, we can also create the web applications. So web application in the sense, for example, we can create the HTML web pages by using this Express.js, and we can also create the Express.js server. Now the third term, that is called as React. So that is called as R. So R stands for the React.js. So React.js, it is the front end library for creating the user interface. So React.js, it is only a library. It is not a framework which is used for creating the user interface. Means by using this React.js, we can only create the front end part, not the back end part. And the next is called as and. So and stand for the Node.js. So Node.js is totally work in the backend side. So it is again the JavaScript because the JS stand for the JavaScript. So Node.js is totally based on the JavaScript, which is used for creating the backend applications. So this Node.js is totally work into the backend, and it is the JavaScript runtime environment. So because this Node.js is totally developed into the JavaScript, so it is called as runtime environment. So these are the four terms that is related with the MERN stack. So all of these use the JavaScript because React.js, it is use the JavaScript. Express.js, it is also use the JavaScript, and Node.js, it also use the JavaScript. So making the stack cohesive and easy to manage end to end, because all are using the same technology. So it is very easy to manage the end to end applications. Means we can create the application from the scratch to the end by using this all the four, that is called as MERN stack, that is the MongoDB, Express, React, and Node.js. Now we will discuss the second point, that is called as when to use the MERN stack. So we can use this MERN stack in the following situations. So first is that suppose if we want to create a single page applications. So single page application means the applications in which we can perform all the operation on the single page. Means when we click on some link, then it will not open into another web page. It will open into the same page, that is called as single page applications. So suppose if you want to submit the form, if you want to click on the link, then all the operation we can perform on the single page. So that is called as single page applications. So this MERN stack, it is used for creating or for building the single page applications. So if you want to a fast, responsive front end that interact with the backend using the API, then we can use this MERN stack. So suppose if you want to create a very fast, very responsive front end that we can interact with the backend using the API. API means application programming interface, means we can easily fetch the data from the backend APIs, then we can go with using the MERN stack. So that is used for creating the single page applications. So for example, let us take, suppose if I want to create a dashboard, then if I want to create a social media application like the Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, all are developed into the front end, that is called as MERN stack. And if I want to create the admin panels, so admin panel, that is also developed into the single page MERN stack applications. So all these are called as single page applications. So this is the first point where we can use the MERN stack for creating or building the single page applications. Second, so in the second point where we can use this MERN stack, so you need full control over front end and the back end. So suppose if we are creating the front end and the back end, means if we are creating the full stack web applications, and if we want to control both front end as well as back end, then we can use this MERN stack. So this React allow the custom UI design, means by using this React applications, we can create a very custom UI design, means according to the requirement, we can create the UI part. So React, as we discussed, it is only used for creating the front end part. And second point is that Express plus Node. So Express plus Node actually it give a flexible API backend logic, because Express and the Node, these are used only for creating the backend applications. So we can easily integrate the React with the backend, means React with the Express and the Node.js, so that we can have the full control on the front end applications or the full stack applications. So if you want a full control over the front end and the back end, then we can use the MERN stack. So this is the second use of this MERN stack, why we use this MERN stack. Now let us move on to the third point, why we use this MERN stack. So your team is scaling the JavaScript. So suppose you are working in a team and your team is totally strong into the JavaScript concept, means they know the basic, they know the advance of JavaScript, then in that case we can use the MERN stack by for creating the full stack web applications. So MERN, it totally uses a JavaScript for the entire development process because it contains the React.js, Express.js, and the Node.js. So client in the sense that is called as React, server that is called as Express and the Node, and database it uses the MongoDB. So if anyone have a basic knowledge or the very good knowledge or advanced knowledge of the JavaScript, then they can work on the MERN stack, means they can create the full stack into the MERN stack. Second point, that is called as no context switching between the different languages like the PHP, Java, or the Python. So if we are using this MERN stack, then we do not need any type of this language like this PHP, then Java and other language. Because this MERN stack, it is the combination of all the JavaScript library. So by using this MERN stack, we can easily create the front end and the back end application, that is called as full stack application we can easily create. Now fourth point. So where we can use this MERN stack, so scalable applications. So suppose if we are creating some scalable applications, so it is ideal for the MVP that can later be scaled. So by using this MERN stack, we can create this type of applications that can be later the scaled. Then second point, MongoDB handle unstructured or the flexible data, because MongoDB it is the NoSQL database which is used to save a large amount of data, means which is used to save the unstructured data or the flexible data. So we can arrange the data in a different way. So that's why it is very scalable. So if you want to create the scalable applications, then we can use this MERN stack. Third point about the Node.js. So Node.js is the event driven and handle the high load. Event driven means Node.js it is the single threaded which work on the single threaded applications, and it can handle the high load. So suppose if the client is sending the multiple requests to the Node.js, then Node.js will handle all kind of request and it will process the request. So that's why it is the single threaded. So that's why we can use this MERN stack in creating the scalable applications. So this is the fourth point why we use this MERN stack. Now fifth point, for creating the RESTful or GraphQL API requirement. So suppose if we want to create the API, means application programming interface into the backend, then we can use this MERN stack. So MERN stack it is also used for creating the RESTful API or the GraphQL API requirement. So for that, we can use this Express and the Node.js, because Express and Node.js it is used for making the or for creating the APIs, means different types of APIs, application programming interface. And we can easily integrate this MERN stack with the GraphQL if needed, because GraphQL it is another type of server which is used to fetch the data. So that's why we can use this fifth point, for creating the RESTful or the GraphQL API requirement, we can use this MERN stack. So for that we can use this Express.js and the Node.js, or we can also integrate this GraphQL if needed. Sixth point, so suppose if you want to work with the chat applications, collaborative editing tools and etc., then we can use this MERN stack. So MERN stack it is also used for creating the real-time applications. Like the chat application we can create, or we can create the collaborative editing tools. So if you want to create the real-time chat applications using this MERN stack, then we can use these tools like the socket.io we can use, because socket.io this is the library which is used for creating the real-time web applications on top of the MERN. So this is on the top of the MERN stack. So these are the 6 points in case we can use the MERN stack into the for creating the full stack web applications. Now next point we'll discuss why we use the MERN stack. What is the importance of this MERN stack? So if you want to create the full stack JavaScript web applications, then we can use this MERN stack, because in the MERN stack, all are the JavaScript library. So it is totally based on the JavaScript. So JS everywhere. Now for the browser, means for the React, we are using this React JavaScript. For creating the server, means for creating this Node.js and the Express.js, it is again the part of JavaScript, and the database. So that is called as MongoDB. So this is the first point why we use the MERN stack for creating the full stack JavaScript web applications. Second, it is open source, means all the software are open source. There is no need to download anything which has some license. So we can easily download from the internet and we can easily install. So it is very open source and the free. It is very free to use, lifetime we can use. So there is no licensing cost. So if you want to use the MERN stack, then we can use it is free, because there is no licensing cost. And second is the it has very huge ecosystem and the community supports. So there are the lot of developer is working on this MERN stack, so we can work on the same things. So that's why it is open source and the free. Third point, component based architecture. Because React, it is totally based on the component architecture, component that we'll discuss in the coming video. So by using this component based architecture, we can easily reuse the code of the React. So it is the code reusability and the maintainabilities. So by using this React, we can easily reuse the code and we can easily maintain the code. Second point, it is very easier UI development and the management. So by using this React, we can easily create the UI development, because React, it is used for creating the front end part. It is used for creating the user interface, and we can easily manage, because we can create the UI according to the requirement in what type of UI we want. Accordingly, we can develop the UI. So that is the third point why we use the MERN stack, because of component based architectures. So if you want the fast development, then we can use this MERN stack, because MERN, it is used for the fast development. Fast development in the sense, because it is totally based on the JavaScript. It is a single page application, and the single page applications are very fast, because the we can perform all the operation on the single page. So Node.js plus Express.js, it support the fast prototyping, because Node.js and the Express.js, these are used for creating the backend part. And Node.js, it is a single threaded, so it is very fast because it handle the multiple requests at a time. It doesn't block any request. And Express.js, this is used for creating the web applications, means we can integrate this Express with the Node.js. So that's why it is very fast, and it also support the fast prototyping. And second point, that is the React speed. So React speed up the front end with the reusable component and the virtual DOM, because React uses this virtual DOM. So document object model and virtual DOM is very fast. So that's why the React, it speed up the front end part with the reusable component, means we can reuse the component at everywhere. So if we reuse the component, there is no need to reuse the code of that component. Now fifth point, JSON everywhere. So what is the meaning of JSON? So that is called as JavaScript object notations. So whatever the data that is coming from the database, means MongoDB, to the React, that comes into the JSON format, because MongoDB save the data in the JSON format. So data flow in the JSON from React to Express to the MongoDB, and there is no conversion needed like the SQL row to the JSON. It automatically create. So there is one is called as SQL rows to the JSON. Now sixth point. So sixth point is the strong community support. So as we already discussed that, because this MERN stack, it contain a huge library. It contain a lot of tools is available, and a lot of tutorials are widely available, so that we can easily work with the MERN stack. And that the second point, it is the regular update and the improvement, means the because lot of developer continuously working on this MERN stack, so we are getting the regular update about the MERN stack. So that are called as use case example of this one. So we can use this MERN stack for creating the e-commerce website, because React UI, Express API, and the MongoDB for the product in inventory. We can use this MERN stack for creating the SaaS dashboard, blogging platform, real-time chat applications, and the portfolio website, because all these are uses these full stack JavaScript applications with the fast rendering